Hey everyone, welcome back to Better Biomed. Today we are going to tone it down just a little bit because we need to cover some stuff that's going on in our career field today. Probably a little bit more than what you guys realize. So let's take a look. We're going to cover the right to repair, some of the updates. I bet you guys don't know some of the stuff that's going on. And let's cover the AAMI apprenticeship program because a lot of people are asking me about this AAMI apprenticeship and what I feel about it and whatnot. So let's go into it. I'll talk a little bit about it and we'll see what you guys think. First off, right to repair. Well, if you guys didn't know, the Massachusetts Automotive Right to Repair Act passed. And the thing is they spent millions of dollars trying to discourage the common everyday Joe from voting yes on that. They spent millions of dollars trying to convince us that it's not a good thing. And it passed by like 75% of the vote. It was just an enormous amount. Don't quote me at the percentage, but it's pretty close. So anyway, that was an enormous success. And because of that, there's always somebody that's going to lead the pack, and Massachusetts did it. So right now, we have 32 states that currently have some sort of legislation that's pending or it's currently being written. Guys, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I think the state legislatures and the people, especially the people who are encouraging those legislatures, to take note about this stuff. I mean, we shouldn't be a throw it away type of society. You know, for medical equipment for us, yes, they're always gonna, I mean, that's high dollar stuff. That's high dollar stuff. Those guys, they always use this for patient safety argument. They always use that. But every single biomed shop I've ever known has gotten some really shoddy work back from a manufacturer someplace down the line. So don't make it sound like manufacturers are like the best quality work out there. It's good, but it's not always the best quality out there, all right? And plus, you have no control over the downtime. None. So, right to repair, there's a lot of reasons why we would like to know more about our equipment and the parts and whatnot. But there's been some other stuff that's been going on. Oh, it makes my mind just boggle, guys. So, a good buddy of mine who was in the military with me, a biomed who went on to progress, and he has done amazingly well for himself. Congratulations, Dustin. He has a court case against him from Philips. All right. Now, I don't know all the details of the story, but I can tell you one thing's for sure. He went to a Philips x-ray course back when he was in the military. And mind you, this is like, what, 18, 17 years ago, 16 years ago? It was 15 years ago? It was over a decade ago, okay? It was a long time ago. He went to a Philips course. And because of that, he signed an agreement with Philips. Now, this is a precursor and a warning to you guys, okay? When you go to these mega training courses for like GE, for Philips, for whatever, they make you sign a bunch of paperwork, don't they? And you never know what can come about that. Would you expect that paperwork that you signed for that training course over a decade ago could come back and haunt you? I bet you Dustin's realizing that right now. That's right. Philips is coming back and suing him because he currently works with Avante Solutions and he's doing amazing things over there. And the OEMs are not liking it, all right? That's all there is to it. They are not liking it because those guys over at Avante, I don't know anybody from Avante and you know, other than Dustin. And the thing is, they're not paying me nothing, but I can tell you one thing's for sure is they are leading the third-party industry for medical imaging parts and they're reverse engineering some stuff. Dustin has been doing some crazy stuff. I had a long phone conversation with him just to catch up on all the stuff that's been going on. And he reached out to me because people need to know about this stuff, all right? When you sign one of those agreements for a training course, you are limiting yourself for the rest of your life. That's the only way to look at this. You're limiting yourself because let's say that you took a Toshiba course, you signed one of those lifetime lockdown rights of information type of agreements, and then later on in your life you decide, hey, I want to make a part for that thing, or I want to make a utility to bypass the password. So you reverse engineer the software and you figure out how to rewrite the password. They don't tell you how to rewrite the passwords. Like, with the Philips, you have a password that expires after a certain period of time. A lot of those manufacturers are doing it and they're cracking down. Philips was one of the worst ones. And I'm sure I would love if Philips contacted me about this because some of this needs some explaining. And I'm sure that there's always two sides of every story. But still, we all know that Big Daddy OEM does not like us repairing their stuff. Every biomed out there knows this. Every biomed knows that OEM does not want you fixing their stuff. All right? It's getting to a level of ridiculousness, and by what Dustin has done is he is unlocking the potential for a third party company to be competitive. All right? So because he signed that agreement years and years ago, they have something that they can use against him. And I'm going to leave the link to some of the court documents in the doobly-doo down below because it's interesting. It's really interesting. A lot of my biomed friends out there, they go to these training courses. These training courses are crazy expensive as it is. And we're excited, we're happy to go and everything, but you rubber stamp those documents that they make you sign and nobody ever reads them. And the fact that it's a legal document that you could be held accountable for the rest of your life. So if you decide later on to become a third party repairer, whether or not the work that you are doing has anything to do with even that model, that particular model that you were trained on, just because you went to a Philips training course over a decade ago, now you are creating utilities and passwords for current generation Philips stuff, because over a decade ago, that's last generation. All right, it's a whole different world. And the thing is, it's so aggravating because this could happen to any one of us. And I hope that it works out best for Avante and for Dustin, because this is the precursor to the right to repair. All right, these guys are really putting in the groundwork. They got a legal team and they are fighting the good fight for you and me. Okay, so we need to support these guys any way they can. This is how I'm supporting them. I'm letting you guys know that this is a reality, that there are wars being fought out there on your behalf. Some company's going to take a stand against all these major conglomerates, and it's going to start someplace. And Dustin and Avante are doing it. So, right to repair, there's 32 states that are currently whipping up some legislation. We're going to look forward to that. It's going to be an exciting next couple of years, guys, as long as these big government folks stay true. Okay, we have all been sold down the river many times by politicians, and it's probably going to happen again. Okay, so we know at the federal level, right to repair isn't going anywhere. Those guys have so much lobbying money floating around, it's not going to happen. But at the state level, we have a chance. So let's take a look. The next couple of years is going to be very interesting. 32 states are proposing legislation, or it's already being proposed. So that's something to look forward to, guys. Maybe our job is going to get a little more interesting. The technician side of our career field might be a little more hands-on in the near future, because so far OEMs seem to want us to ship everything out. Let's see. Give us some good information, sell us some parts, and let us take it from there. Anyway, the next topic, the AAMI apprenticeship. All right, well, just to let you guys know, the AAMI apprenticeship that was just approved by whoever, government entity, yada yada, it doesn't take effect until early 2022. And there's a lot of stuff that's to go along with this, and I'm sure I'm missing some details, okay? So it is a structured path to career progression, and it looks like it's a good gateway for entry-level people, but I don't know how I feel about AAMI having grips, like they control this career field, because guys, don't let a company like AAMI fool you into thinking that they control this career field. They don't. I mean, they're fighting the good fight. They've done some really good stuff for us, but they're still a company, right? So this AAMI's career path progression apprenticeship It requires 4,000 to 6,000 hours of paid OJT. You're going to get your AAMI CABT. A lot of people have asked me about that, and that's they actually market that as an associate's certification, so that you can have your associate's certification before you even step foot on the job site. And I've done a video about that before. I'll tell you right now, if you've never set foot in a hospital, you might know medical equipment in and out. You've never set foot in a hospital, you don't know jack. Okay? You don't know jack. I'll tell you that right now, guys. Because medical equipment is like part of the puzzle. The hospital is a huge, huge section of that puzzle. So, the weight of the CABT, I say anything is better than nothing, right? But to think that a CABT candidate is going to be better than another candidate, well, we know that that's not true. I mean, how many of you guys know somebody that's a CBET who, doesn't know their hand from a hole in the wall? I mean, because I do. I have known a couple of them, and it makes you really shake your head like, oh my gosh, this guy. So anyway, you have to take everything with a grain of salt at this moment, because when this program gets rolling in early 2022, it looks like they're going to offer tax credits, okay? And it might encourage people to hire these candidates. And I always have recommended that there's some sort of apprenticeship that we start, but there's a lot of risk, and hospitals are always so iffy when it comes to risk. I know my hospital does not like apprentices because they're not a paid employee, and there's a lot of risk there because they're not certified and whatever. And it's very frustrating when the lawyers and the bean counters get involved, because we have to start somewhere. All right, we have to get these people out there. We have to make them aware that this career field exists. That's why I'm here for you guys, because I want you guys to know that this career field exists, and there's ways to progress and be very successful in this career field. That's why I do this. All right, I want to encourage as many people as possible to get out there. And if you don't want to be a biomed, well, I'll tell you what, there's hundreds of other avenues that have to do with medical equipment where you can make some good money, a good, honest living, and actually help people. Okay, so that's the whole thing. The AAMI apprenticeship, what do I feel about it? It's really hard to give an honest opinion about something before it even really happens, but I see it as a step forward. Now, whether or not I feel that AAMI should control the entire thing, I don't know. To have a company controlling your career field is like, I don't have really good feelings about that. It feels more corporate, more corpo than ever. But anyway, it does exist, and we're going to keep our eyes open on the AAMI program, because AAMI, they are doing some good stuff for our career field and for medical technology in general. So we will give another opinion on that sometime in the future. All right, but it does exist. I encourage you guys to go out and get your research. As far as Dustin versus Phillips, I'm going to include the court case down below. There's some really interesting stuff going on there. Phillips. But, and right to repair. It is, in many ways, on the front lines. So, we're going to see how that plays out, won't we? Anyway, guys, I'm not going to take any more of your time. Just a very quick cap on the things that are going on right now, because you guys need to pay attention to those headlines, and this is going to affect you and me possibly for the next 30 or so years. So, pay attention. Thanks for watching, guys.